Reinvent. What's the mathematic pi? What's humble pi? Think about it. Anunnaki, chocolate dipping Aronofsky. Word in my balls, shining like Swarovski. Never needed swag, politics, or paparazzi. I'd rather knock a foxy chick, pop the stop on Nazis. Hot by proxy, I rhyme with the greatest MCs. Pandemic, this the latest disease. No skills, million rappers claim they trapping with keys. So I swing across bars like the flying trapeze. So Cal, where I was conceived, another LA king to meet, die on their knees. Cause of greed, mama used to read Proverbs 16. Pride comes before a fall, lose it all. And that's when you see who really got your back. Razzie bring the city joy like the Shack attack. Black Mac Benz wagon with the matching hat. This is backpack ratchet, nigga, action packed. And most of y'all garbage, homie, facts is fact. Even if you pay big bucks to get fucked and dick sucked, hiccup and lick nuts for platinum plaques. Hope you picking up what I'm putting down. Whack is whack, Jack. A grateful Thanksgiving. They feasted on ribs, gave us intestines where the shit's been. We made that shit thing. Necessity's the mother of invention. My light bulb go off, cause I don't like wishing. Keep reinventing. 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 My nigga, have you ever dated a white girl? Y'all break up and argue, then she call you the N-word. Damn, alright, girl. Not N-I-G-G-A, N-I-G-G-E-R. Entice you to strike her so you can see these balls. I'm Missy Elliott like hee-hee-hee-hee-haw. You would not need a trollop, now you are VCRs. I'm somewhere on Krypton and you should see these stars. Parallel universe, freak those shooting meteors. In slam dunking planets, my semantics damn near tantric. Dorothy came to Kansas, you was never on my bandwidth. And fuck effing radio stations, you complacent. Cause y'all play the most ignorant songs in creation. Wayne said he make these hoes love him like Satan. Jay partnered with Barney's with racial discrimination. And Kanye gears for Confederate flags. His ancestors' severed heads was in Confederate bags. And this ain't hate, this just the truth about when blacks escape the concrete jungle and lose humble. Humility's a blessing, and many men have tumbled off that pedestal soon as your foundation crumbles. Beef sausage in my gumbo, pouring out liquor for my grandparents and uncle, who I get drunk for. Californication, no runkle. Blue leather belt, big silver H on the buckle. Ebbs and flows, made a modest living off rapping. Can say I'm ballin', I'm still trying to make it happen. Impregnate the beat and murk it like Rick Carew. Stand on Dr. King's mountaintop and raise the roof. Keep reinventing. Keep reinventing. Keep reinventing. Keep reinventing. Keep reinventing. Keep reinventing. Keep reinventing.
This 6-year-old is finally ready to compete. His opponent is a bigger, stronger.
Good evening, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the T.O.P Cast. Shout out to the left coast, the west coast, aka California, the other country. And that was my man Razcast and Apollo Brown, Humble Pie. Something that a lot of us need to eat. I know I done had some in my life. And if you ain't had none, you will soon. Good evening, Mr. Cam. Yes, Razcast, instant classics. Of course. He goes way back. I've been listening to his music, since the 90s. Salute. Good evening, Miss Tisha from NY. My bad. I thought you was from Jersey, but it's all good. It's a tri-state area thing. I mean, I think rats come from New York to New Jersey and back and forth because they like cousins and shit. But anyway, this is the first episode of The Wheel of Heaven. And as it goes, Aries is the first sign. Oh, good evening, Evo. How you doing? Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, the current zodiac. And I wanted to start this discussion back when Aries season first began, back according to the Gregorian calendar, which, by the way, calculates the tropical year, which is different from the sidereal year, because the tropical year goes by the seasons, and the sidereal year goes by the stars and the sun. And the difference between the 2 years is a difference of about 20 minutes. Good evening, Nan. How you doing? Glad that you're in the building. Welcome back. If you guys missed the live stream earlier, it was a topic that I've been thinking about for some time. Just I verbalize it in different ways. It is called the Madonna Whore Dichotomy. You should check it out. I think it's insightful. It's just another way to look at things. Happy birthday, Nan. My birthday passed on March 28th. According to the Gregorian calendar, the first day of spring is the 21st. The first day of the sign of Aries is also the 21st of March. So I was born on the 7th day of the sign. Anybody familiar with the Nation of Gods and Earths or numerology should be very familiar with the significance of the number 7. So when I say I'm special, I mean, we all are in our own individual way. But when I say I'm special, I really mean that, because I really am interested in things of this nature. Anyway, before we continue, I want to share another video with you guys so you could kind of get an idea of what you're dealing with when you're dealing with an Aries, and in particular, male Aries. But I will speak a little bit on female Aries, because Aries is a very masculine sign. The two signs of Aries, one of them kind of looks like a V with curved horns at the top, meant to depict the face and the horns of a ram. Which, by the way, if you guys don't know, rams are really bighorn sheep. So if you've ever heard the term Lamb of God before, this is where this term comes from. The association with Aries rams or rams and different deities. In particular, or notably rather, Amun of ancient Kemet or Egypt, as it's now known as, and Poseidon, who was involved in the story of the Golden Fleece. He changed a young lady into a sheep, and then changed himself into a ram, and they copulated and produced the sheep with the golden fleece. You just check out all these mythologies. But these things I find to be interesting, because it gives you an idea of how people in past times thought, and how today we as people, as much as we like to think that we're so different and so far advanced, we really don't think too much different, because we actually still practice these things. Well, what a lot of Black people don't know is something that I always stress. I think that is very constructive for us, especially as Black men, to be very interested in science and technology and engineering and mathematics. And I don't say this haphazardly. I say this because we were the pioneers in these very fields. And the zodiac is one such field. A lot of people disregard it and say it's a pseudoscience, it's mumbo jumbo, it's not really real, that doesn't apply to me. But generalizations, although we don't really like them, are based in science. They are just extrapolations of a smaller sample. But what a lot of folks don't know, and I want to share this screen with you guys before we get to the video. Bear with me 1 second. I want to show you guys these photos because I know a lot of you guys are not familiar with these things. Okay. Now, a lot of people are familiar with the zodiac and the way that it looks today in present day. And the origin of the present day zodiac is based upon what you see here. And what you see here is essentially a stellar map that has been dated to sometime between 100 BC and 50 BC, back when the Romans arrived in Egypt. And this artifact is now located in the Louvre Museum in France because they took it from the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt, out of the temple dedicated to Osiris. But what makes this so significant, for one, is that the current depiction of the zodiac is based upon what you see here. So, for example, in Kemet, in Kemetic astrology, they didn't use the crab as a sign for Cancer. They used the scarab beetle. And I say that to say that in this stellar map, you can tell based on the carving and the astronomical alignments around when it was made. And a lot of people, because white folks has something to do with this, you know, people like myself who know a little bit about these things don't want to have anything to do with it. But what they don't know is that this is not even the oldest zodiac or system of astrology. Is one that's even older. That goes all the way back to when Hatshepsut was queen. So we're talking somewhere around 1500 BC, which is 1400 years older at least. But the point that I'm ultimately making is that as Black people, as Africans and African descendants, we have been studying and creating such things. And so for me anyway, because I have this knowledge, is why I accept it, because it came first from my own people. A lot of you guys don't know this. Anyway, let me just show you right quick what the oldest zodiac looks like. That's what it looks like. Right there. It comes from the Temple of Hathor in Egypt. And it is called the zodiac of Sinmut, or mother's brother. And on this zodiac, they have 12 of their own deities. Neteru is the proper word. Some people even refer to them as gods. Anyway, we already had our own zodiac system before the Greeks and the Romans came and altered it so that they can understand our science. But you guys should look these things up. Because again, like I said, I find them highly interesting. Nevertheless, what you should understand from what I'm saying is that there's two systems, essentially, of the zodiac. One is the current one, or the one that's given to us from us through white folks, their interpretation of our thing. And then there is our thing. Now, under the Gregorian calendar, my sign, my horoscope sign or zodiac sign is Aries, the ram, which is a very important symbol in Kemet because it is the symbol of Amun, which is like the god of all gods. And these things you can go look up yourself, but every zodiac sign is a sign, a quality, an element, a color, and it has a planet that rules over them. And they also fall within a 28 to 30 day date range to cover the entire calendar. Again, a lot of people think that these things, this is just mumbo jumbo, that it doesn't apply to them. But I disagree. And again, I disagree because this science comes from us. I mean, I'm not saying that we as Black people can't lie, but it defies logic to me that we will invent systems that have no purpose. Because in the words of one Agent Smith, nothing in life exists without purpose. And scientifically speaking, everything is energy. That to say that the day and time that you were born and the way that the universe was arranged has an impact and or meaning in your life. Now, I know for me, because I'm an Aries, I consider myself to be a quintessential Aries because a lot of the things that's expressed about how Aries are, if you were to ask me, I'm a little bit, looking side-eyed at the people who write these zodiacs because I'll be saying to myself, like, who the fuck is these people? Like, how do they know me that well? But just some things about Aries. The element of Aries is fire because we are a sun sign along with Leo and Sagittarius. Aries, our quality is cardinal. And a cardinal quality is basically, it's a quality that rules over all other qualities. And this could be kind of an overstatement because all qualities have their important role. And this ties in directly to how Aries, the ram, is tied in with Amun, the king of the gods, how he rules all others. Same thing with the cardinal quality of an Aries, because the sun, because Aries is a sun sign, rules all of the other planets, it being the center that those planets revolve around. But a cardinal quality represents a new beginning and the energy of beginning, or the energy of starting or initiating. And this is one of the core qualities of Aries people. We're fantastic at initiating things. We have all kinds of ideas. We're very spontaneous. And another thing about Aries is we want to have, and this is not just Aries in particular, but Leos to some extent, and Sagittarius is also. But we have a want of an opportunity to either see or make a deep change in the direction and focus of our lives. And a lot of people don't believe that these things are true, which is, at least in part, one of the motivations for me doing this series. And by the way, this series in particular, because of the way the signs work, they're only going to be issued once a month or once per zodiac season, if you will. So Aries goes for a month, so forth and so on. And what I want to try to do is to ideally have a male and female guest that is a representative of the particular zodiac sign that I'm discussing. Because this is Aries and I'm an Aries, I decided I could do this one pretty much by myself. And if there are any Aries who are in disagreement with what I'm saying about us, please feel free to offer your insight. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. But Aries people are, in regards to our strengths and weaknesses, are as far as strengths go, are very confident, usually highly enthusiastic, optimistic, honest people. We're very passionate and very courageous. And some of our weaknesses is that we can be impatient, short-tempered, aggressive, or impulsive. And I know for one, from myself, those weaknesses, the ones I mentioned in particular, I've been working on and still am working on to this very day. It is a struggle because it's very difficult to change your personality. Anyway, Aries, or the period during my birthday, if we are to, which I do also because I observe both, if we are to go by the original way that we develop as Africans, my sign would not be Aries. It would be Isis. And what's so interesting is if you actually go look it up, everything that is said about Aries under the Gregorian calendar system or the current zodiac system, it are the very same things that are said about Isis. In other words, the weaknesses and the strengths that I just mentioned are also attributed to the goddess Isis, which is who my zodiac sign would be under African astrology. But again, I just think that these things are interesting. I like talking about what people consider to be esoteric. It's not really esoteric. You just kind of have to have some common sense and some initiative and some curiosity. Because as people, we've been on this planet for quite some time. And after the end of this broadcast, I'm going to be putting together a short video of explaining how the precession of the equinox works, which is going to give you guys an idea of the mechanics, the planetary mechanics, which is where this system is developed from. But I'm always interested in learning things. And I think you guys should too. In Islam, they say seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. And I could not state that any better. The point of doing these videos in this particular series is to highlight the fact that a lot of things that we think have no merit to them, in fact, do. In particular, our horoscopes or zodiac signs and the things that they say about us. Again, these things are just generalizations, and not everything said about it or, is going to be true or 100% accurate. But I would say overall, we all generally fit quite well into our respective zodiac categories or under our respective zodiac signs. I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. with episode number 4 of the Kings of Comedy featuring Tone You a Fool and Ro of I Don't Give a Shit Media. Or I Ain't Shit Media. Sorry about that, Ro. I keep fucking that up. I might need to write that down. So make sure you guys check back in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like chopping it up with those guys because they're younger guys. And for the past, I want to say like 60 or 70 days, my audience has been 100% in the age range of 25 to 34, which is very good because it means that younger guys are listening to what I'm saying and they find what I'm saying interesting. Nonetheless, before I get out of here, I want to remind you guys to, if you haven't, follow me on Instagram. I got 2 pages, The Incredible T.O.P and the Top Cast Instagram page. Also, check out the Top Cast on Anchor Podcast or your favorite podcast outlet. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, bring a friend, like, comment, and share the material. I'd appreciate it. Salute to everybody who came through for the show. I appreciate you guys. Cam, Tisha, Ebo, Nan. Again, happy birthday, Nan. Salute to all the Aries out there. We are first and foremost in the zodiac. Don't forget it. I'll see you guys in about a few weeks for episode number 2, where I will have a live guest. For episode number 2 is Taurus, because we're going into Taurus season. Let's see. I'm an Aries. I don't personally subscribe to astrology, though. It takes away from individuality and indulge in average human temper. Respect to you, Top. You always keep us thinking. Yeah, I did mention that, man, that it's basically a generalization of people's personalities who are born during that time or that particular zodiac season, if you will. And it's not 100% true. It's just an extrapolation. And also, like I pointed out, depending on what part of March you're born in, because under our system, because we created these things, Black people, we divide the month into thirds. And like I mentioned, the period that I'm born in March coincides to me being my Kemetic zodiac sign would be Isis. But the interesting thing, which is what I brought up, is that the very same things that's said about Aries is said about Isis in association with that particular time in March. So I say that to say that because it ultimately comes from people who look like me is why I give it any credence. I mean, I don't think that the ancients wasted a whole lot of time just bullshitting, and that they studied these things, and they also were astute because they also studied people. So there is some merit to it, but it's not the end all be all, is what I'm getting at. Nonetheless, thank you for your comment. I appreciate you coming through. I'm going to take you guys out of here with another classic joint. Rise Cast and Apollo Brown was the last joint we went with. And I meant to show you guys the video about the bighorn sheep, but I never ended up getting to that. So my apologies. You can, if you'd like, go and study on your own. What I did want to the reason why I wanted to play it is because my advice to people, if they are going to do any studying into the zodiac, that the zodiac sign you fall under, whatever pictorial representation that is assigned to your sign, is what you should go study and see how much you are like that thing. And this is why I wanted to show the video of the Rams, because I know for me as an Aries, in a lot of ways, I behave very much like a Ram. And I would say that in general, for male Aries, the same applies. But I could be wrong about that. You know, I don't know everything. But nonetheless, again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming through. If you're late to the party, don't worry about it. You can always catch the replay. I thank you guys for coming. This has been another episode of the T.O.P Cast. I am your host, the incredible T.O.P. And we're going to take you out with one of my favorite joints from a young man from California. D-Smoke. Last Supper.
Keep it 100, I be feeling like who? Nobody. These niggas finally understand when I land, I'm the man. Fuck you thought this was, nigga, from Japan to the land. Suckers know what's up, nigga. I'm praying they overstand me. Every kid need a hero, I'm trying to be Uncle Stanley. R.I.P. All I see is concrete. Burn rubber glass splattered on the concrete. I heard love of lives matter, so when hearts leak. Blood dripping live patterns on my ink, writing red when it's splattered. Don't flatter me, nigga. Save your compliments. Already know that my flow is bombing shit. We could toast to our old accomplishments, but I'd rather coast, move forward, and talk my shit. They told me, eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. It's one queen and a few brothers, the Last Supper. Keep it 100, I be feeling like Campbell soup over white rice.
baked chicken with the skin on. Aries with black pepper, I'm fully seasoned with half the effort. Ask my nigga Mash, boy, I've been on. I'm a pit with a bunch of labs in the kiddo. Pop a stick, used to pour it back till he went on. Drop a fifth and reach in the bag. A nigga pull out a sack to relax and pass the blunt like a million. I know we friends, but nigga Jesus was homies with Judas. Don't be the nigga looking at your homeboy like, how could you do this? Smile on your face, then as soon as you walk away, wishing you ruined. Now you're looking foolish, but still you say, eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Eat smoke, take your time, it's a long. Yeah.